Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about upcoming great shifts that are about to move you, so how to prepare yourself and what you may be already feeling right now, like symptoms of the present shifts that are happening. To anyone who's more sensitive, you can most probably tell that in these present days you feel differently than you did maybe 1 month ago. So firstly, you're currently undergoing an intense transition where the old story is losing its grip and the new one hasn't been completely grounded yet. So the final chapter of your old story is over and new one have to be decided by you. So you have to decide what will be the energy of the new life you're about to enter. What will be the energy of there? Will be of it? Will it be the energy of miracles? Will it be the energy of joy? Will it be the energy of purpose, of passion, of enthusiasm, of growth, of service to others, of healing, of being healed? Or will it be the energy of fear and separation and division and everything that we know it's not heaven on earth, right? So we all may feel like we are somewhere in between right now, but the energy is really strong. So yesterday I've shared with you in our Instagram community that miracles happen to those who act intentionally, move with purpose, and give their all to their work, craft, art, conversations, relationships, and self-care. When you put your best into everything, somehow in unexpected ways and forms, the best comes back to you. So be miraculous, my friend. It's time to decide to be miraculous. And I know it's not like just saying, oh, I'm miraculous. It's about letting go of the garbage you're carrying in your backpack, letting go of any of this emotional pain that we often hold towards someone else because we don't want to forgive, because we don't want to move beyond fear of certain self-expression. In the law of one, the raw material, if you're familiar with this work of channeling, the law of one tells about interesting connection that is really powerful. Also Native Americans were talking about this when they were talking about the web of life. It's been said that every single soul, incarnate and discarnate, is connected at the level of the collective consciousness and unconsciousness within the higher self. We are all part of an extraordinary energetic living substance called God. We're all part of it. The purpose of this energetic living substance is to create more energy. When we live in peace, harmony, and unity, we not only increase our level of vibration, but also increase the level of vibration of the entire energetic living substance. When we live in conflict, disharmony, and disunity, we not only decrease our own level of vibration, but also decrease the level of vibration of the entire energetic substance. Because we are all connected and part of this one energetic living substance, everything we think, say, the way we feel, and what we do affects every soul. And this is not just a subject of channeling. Actually, many people who had this near-death experience have come to a certain point where they were looking at their lives and seeing how each thought they had in their lives, how each emotion they felt, how each word they said, how the way they made other people felt has affected the whole collective consciousness, the whole humanity, the earth, even the weather on earth. There's many stories like that, where we come back to this understanding of the web of life and how much we are affecting on this planetary consciousness, universal consciousness, and how much, if we open up, are we already in tune with our higher self, and how much we are sometimes in disharmony with it. So when we live in peace, harmony, and unity, we not only increase our level of vibration, but also increase the level of vibration of the entire energetic living substance, however we want to call this. It's important for us to be reminded of this, because we all know, if you look around this, or around yourself, you will notice everything else but peace, everything else but harmony, everything else but encouragement to unify, to get together, to find same-minded people, to strengthen up our individualities by connection, by coming together, by working on our weaknesses, by being of service to others, by finding helpful, practical and meaningful, purposeful ways to help our neighbors, to help our brothers and sisters, to help those in hurt, to pray for those who are in pain and have no other way to get out of it. As we are seeing wars are happening, and sometimes we can't be a part of physical solution there, we can still get our minds together and hold a coherent intention for those hearts that are in pain. The point is that we start emanating more of this new energy. So firstly, there are symptoms of this transition, the huge shift in energy that is happening. It's not visible or felt by many people. Actually, if you would talk with some maybe random average people, they would say, well, yeah, I feel something is different, but I don't know what's going on. But to anyone who's going through the process of healing, you know exactly what's happening, because every time you experience a certain breakthrough within you, you feel lighter. And when you feel lighter, it's like seeing a different world. It's like seeing people in a different way, right? Once you understand your own pain, now you can understand that same pain in others. Now suddenly you see actually people that you've admired before, now you see they're hurting as well. People who may have been, like, sometimes it happens, people have really praised certain celebrities, but then you go through this process of awakening and healing, and you actually notice how many of them are actually suffering and kinda protecting their own pain through certain acting and hiding, certain traumas through a certain way of behaving. And we start reading these patterns because we've experienced them in our own lives. And that's where we get to the realization why being of service is so important. You don't need to be a great master to be of service. You just need to project what you've learned onto those who may be acceptable to that. You can always raise up in compassion to others. You can always raise up in kindness to others. You can always raise up in being a better listener, right? We all can do it. So because more and more people are doing that, it's possible to feel in this energetic living substance, in this connection we all feel with one another, that the energy is changing and rising, and we can see the Schumann frequency constantly. There are these huge ups that can always be felt, and the byproduct of that is that we are becoming more sensitive. Our senses are like lightening up, like you would be turning the volume up of them, and therefore you may feel whatever you feel more intensely. So symptoms of these current transitions are that maybe if worrying was a part of your day, you're noticing that it is slowly vanishing. Because of your healing processes And also because you've noticed how much your mind actually holds power when you focus on something you want to see. When you focus more on harmony, when you focus more on beauty, when you focus more on something that inspires you, worrying is vanishing, and it is actually transforming into higher energy within your body that then can be used for certain creative expression. Also, fear has no more power over you anymore. Fear has no more power over you. You still feel fear. You still feel afraid for certain things, but what's happening, you soon catch yourself and you notice, well, it's just fear. It's not real. It's not reality. It's my reaction to what I think that was real in the past. But even this reality that I'm experiencing is just a reflection of the past. So fear is not real. It's just the question, how much can I surrender myself to this present moment and actually embody the creative force that is moving through me. That's why being a good friend to yourself, so you can tap deeper into your inner quietness, is very necessary at this point. That's why we're constantly talking about this. I'm just reminding you, giving you these daily reminders to pay attention to it. We've heard this before, but to practice it daily, it's a devotion, it's a discipline. Also, you may notice that the way you've been judging people before, like a habit of judging others, was replaced with acceptance. It kind of happened naturally, almost automatically, as you've started noticing that judging has done no good in your life. You've just felt worse and worse every time you've been judging and gossiping around others. So you're noticing that this old energy is slowly releasing your system, and therefore your old karma is ending here. That's why it's an end of the old story. You also don't fight anymore with what is. You naturally focus on what you want to see, and eventually the path takes you there. This process can only be understood by those who are going through this process, who are doing the work. Someone who's not doing it will say, well, if you will be ignoring what's happening, there will be only more chaos and fear and fights, which is true for someone who is on that level of consciousness. But for someone who understands this universal creative process, understands that beauty can be created once you firstly focus on it, question it, and allow it to guide you, to navigate you through life, so we can create more of it. But then action is required, so we can become an example for those who may find your work inspiring. Like in painting, it's not, I could think about incredible paintings all day long, but then I need to paint them. I need to bring them into this dimension so you can see them, you can find them inspiring, and they may inspire you to do something beautiful with your life as well. So we're physically here to be a physical example of transformation. And to be an example of transformation, we need to keep transforming ourselves. So that's why to let go of this need for fights and actually notice that your focus is navigating your way of thinking and your behaviors. You recognize, well, I will focus on what I want to see more on this planet, and I will embody it. I will build discipline around it so I can stay focused on the energy I want to feel more frequently until I become it, until I become peace, until I become love, until I become passion, until I become creative force of enthusiasm and drive for deeper connection. And another symptom you may feel right now is that you're naturally focusing on more harmonious earth. It just became your nature. Like it may happen when you're talking with others. You're not like broadcasting your beliefs onto others. You're not in fights with them anymore so much. It may still happen like an old trigger, but you're noticing that this old part of you is slowly loosening up, and the new part of you, the new you, is slowly becoming more and more grounded and synced with this, let's say, present body. And you're recognizing that harmony is really something light. It's not a belief. It's not, when it's not a concept. It's more like a state of being when we are really relaxed and calm. And we recognize, well, if I'm able to be really relaxed, really calm, really at peace with myself, I look at people completely differently. I communicate with them differently. I don't react to them anymore. I just see them. I listen to them. I say something if there is a need to say something. And most importantly, there's a strong voice of the truth present that will give you a need to express it when the time is right. So a great sense of integrity arises within you at this point. And this is a really, really beautiful state to be in. And to stay in this new energy, the new Earth's energy that is speaking to you and calling you, work on forgiveness even more. If you have something to forgive, work on that. And I know it's not easy, but forgiveness is always done for ourselves and it's felt in others. So when we recognize someone hurt us in the past, well, you've been hurt and it was not an act of justice, and most probably it was hard for you to digest whatever happened. But now you're recognizing, well, I just don't want to be like that person. And if I don't want to be like that person, I need to completely and fully free that pain that's still within me attached to that memory. Memory will stay as a message of wisdom, how not to treat others. But the pain don't need to be carried on. If you're wondering how to do it, you can, slowly, if you're familiar with the shadow work, you can just, in meditation, when you learn to open your heart, and at this point you already know how to do it, when you focus into your heart center, it will activate. From this point on, you can ask yourself what is certain memory that is still attaching a certain amount of pain or guilt or shame onto you in your emotional system, and your subconscious mind will show it to you. And then you can go into it and you may feel the emotions you felt back at that time. But now you can look at it more objectively, and you will notice that how you've explained to yourself what happened may not be the truth, because back at that time you had no better knowledge of how to explain what happened. And now, as you're wiser and more acknowledged, you can look at it more objectively with an understanding that those people were in pain and hurt people. So you've been a part of this process, and most probably taught you something that you will eventually learn. And at this point, the lessons will come to you really, really fast. So don't be afraid to do that work. And if possible, do it in a circle of people who also need to do it as well. So you can be together, you can support one another. It's beautiful if you can do that. Then another thing to stay in that new energy is to don't be a victim of your weaknesses. They will introduce you actually to your hidden talents. So whatever you would explain as your weaknesses, you will soon notice that within those weaknesses, there's so much power, so much of authenticity. But sometimes, if we are in the wrong company, maybe you're not the most communicative. And if you're in a company where everyone is communicative, you will say, oh, I'm a bad person, there's something wrong with me. But if you come into a company where people have same passions as you have, you will recognize you're actually quite communicative. You actually love to talk about your passions. So you see, in one company or in one circle of people, you would recognize that part of you as a weakness, while in other group of people you would recognize it as your gift. You're really gifted the way that you can devote so much of your energy to one single thing that feels really important to you, and because of that you can become really good at it. So weaknesses are so misunderstood because usually it's just because we are around people who don't see our worth, who don't see our values, and what makes us valuable. So make sure that you're not a victim of your weaknesses. Rather, identify them. Notice if there's something that could be changed or improved, but don't try to improve yourself because you're already perfect in the essence of yourself. What you're actually changing is the way how well you can express this essence of yourself. Your divine DNA is already perfect as it is. You can't change it because it's perfect. What you're working on is an ability of self-expression, of expression of it. Like in art, you're expressing it through music, through paintings, through whatever you do. In conversations, we learn to express it through love, through kindness, through care for one another. All the time we're learning to express this divinity. That's what we're learning. So don't be a victim of your weaknesses, because if you actually study them, you will notice that there's a lot of hidden talents and incredible potential within them. Another thing that will help you to stay in that new Earth's energy is when you take action from whatever you're dreaming about. And not this nighttime dreaming, but these visions that you have for your life. You know that visions are like moments when the universe has chosen you to make it happen because you have the right skills, knowledge, talents, and capabilities to make it happen. So when you get this calling, like, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to start helping others, I want to build this company, I want to go out and help those in need. Those are these deep callings that when the universe has chosen you to make it happen, and if you start working on it, you will be deeply rewarded and you will stay in that energy of purpose, of help, of kindness, of compassion. This is the new Earth's energy where everyone is collaborating. Also, finding purpose or purposeful ways to serve others, beautiful thing to do to raise your frequency. And one of the most important ones, take time to heal. Whatever you feel that is your deepest wound right now, or deepest necessity to take care of, take time to heal. Because you will notice sometimes, well, it takes months to get over something, to understand something better. Get into some books that can help you with that, or maybe some spiritual texts, some ancient teachings, timeless teachings, like any tradition that resonates with you. Actually, it will find you by itself. Study it, work with it, and you will notice that something is changing within you. What I've noticed, every time I'm reading certain book that came to me through a synchronicity, when I'm reading it, I start to have really profound experiences in my life. And sometimes those experiences are not completely related to what I'm reading, but it's like this book activated something within me that introduced me to something new. Like certain dots started connecting. Sometimes in my dream time, I have this really interesting travelings where I'm flying and solving certain problems somewhere else. Interesting things are happening. And usually it happens when I come across certain book or certain information through synchronistic events. And yeah, it's really interesting what starts happening. So take time for that. Take time for that. And my friends, it will just get more interesting. it will just get more interesting. So I hope you found something valuable today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I'm also sharing with you the painting, The New Earth, which was created around 3 years ago, I think, or 2 years ago. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And to anyone who would love to support my art, you can find it in the link in the description of this video. So go there and check it out. Thank you so much for your support. Until next time, one love.